Hello, it is, well, it's pretty much just 6:27, June 27th. It's, it's late Friday night. It's a little after midnight, so it is technically the 27th. But I just felt this was a good time for me to talk a little bit about something very important to me. On Thursday, I lost my dear friend Joe Sinnott, and he was 93, and we'd known each other for about 39 years. I think it was sometime in 1981 that we first started being in touch with each other. And initially it was professionally because those in the comic business or know about the comic business know that Joe was one of the, if not the greatest inker of all time, working on the Fantastic Four and Thor and all these other sorts of, predominantly Marvel books. Although he did other stuff too, working for Treasure Chest, and he did some Archie stuff that people don't necessarily know about. In fact, some stuff that the Archie people don't necessarily know about. But that's another story. Anyway, I don't want to talk about Joe the cartoonist. You can read about that everywhere because it's everywhere, and deservedly so. Joe, again, in the business, truly a legend, one of the greats. But I want to talk about Joe, my friend. And he was a great guy. We really warmed up to each other very quickly, which I'm sure most anyone that met him did. But Joe really took a shine to me and treated me our entire time like a member of his family. And I used to go and hang out with his family. I remember, I'm sure Mark and Belinda will remember this. One day I went up, I made a big tortellini salad. I said, because we'd always talked about my cooking and such. And I said, I'm gonna go up there. I'm gonna bring a tortellini salad. So I got there and I brought that, and I think Joe's wife Betty was still alive at this time. A wonderful woman who made a great apple crisp. Let me tell you about that. A great apple crisp. Uh, Ask anyone that ever tried it. And so, in fact, I think we had some that evening with my pasta salad and whatever else Betty made, and spent the day with Joe. And we talked some about comics. We talked a lot more about comic strips, by the way. Things like, oh, Joe loved Joe Palooka, Terry and the Pirates, Scorchy Smith. A lot of that, adventure stuff and that. Showed me a wonderful thing. I'm sure, I hope Mark still has this. He showed me a strip where he did his version of The Heart of Juliet Jones, great soap opera strip that my friend Stan Drake did for so many years. And it was beautiful. I mean, it was definitely Joe's style, but you could see that he had the feel for it. He would have been a great artist on it. But we talked a lot about his great love of Bing Crosby all the time. Uh, Sang me more than a few Bing tunes, let me tell you. And used to send me great. Bing made was the subject of many of his Christmas cards that he drew. And I don't know, we just talked about anything and everything. We had ridiculously long phone conversations when I couldn't make it up to Saugerties or we weren't at a convention together. Um, and I, I must say, on my end, I came to sort of think of him like an uncle. That's really, I think, a fair description. Joe was an uncle, and his family. Now he had three kids. I believe it's three. I can be corrected on that. But I knew Mark and his wife Belinda the best, and still to this day, and their family. And I think of them as family. And I think they think of me as family as well. It's a really wonderful thing in my life. And Joe, all he ever did was make me smile and tell me great stories, funny stories. Um, I will never forget once it just caught me so off guard. It made me laugh. He said that at one time in his life he had a neighbor that looked just like Babe Ruth, but it was a woman. And just that picture in my head to this day just makes me laugh, and the look on Joe's face when he was saying it, sort of matter of factly, it just made it even funnier. But the last time we saw each other was a few weeks after his birthday, which his birthday was October the 16th. So last year I was up in, I guess, Westchester County, New York. We were at a con sitting next to each other, and they had a belated birthday for Joe with a nice cake. Joe took me aside before I got a piece. He's like, "This is pretty good cake, John." And it was, by the way. And we just had a wonderful day. We always had a wonderful day. Um, I love Joe very much, and I love his family. And I'm going to miss Joe for the rest of my life. But I am so grateful that I had 39 years with Joe in my life. It was a true gift. I am blessed. Catholic John feels that Joe is in heaven right now. And I hope that I get to see him again someday. Um, Thanks for indulging me. I'll sort of get back to regular Johnness, but you know what? This is regular Johnness. Joe was massive in my life, and I hope his family sees this. I love you all, and I will talk to everyone soon. You have a good day.